I said, yeah, like you bring some Jewish people into a room and they think it's a shower, but it's gas. Oh. And they said, right. I said, right, that ain't funny. So to me, it wasn't funny about putting a rope around my MFN neck either. I made a point. So what a responsibility you all have to tell the truth, not just to be first.
And I think it's more important to make headway in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds.
Denzel Washington's recent commentary about the way black impersonators in Hollywood are controlled have reignited a heated debate. But what is interesting about Denzel is that he is one of the many actors who does not embrace a victim intelligence. Indeed, though, he has educated demarcation from important numbers. In Hollywood, Denzel does not use it as a reason to give up. In fact, he's determined to exfoliate light on the retired workings behind the scenes and how black impersonators are controlled by their contracts, workrooms, and instructors. One of the most important assignments in life that you should know is to flash back to have a station of gratefulness, of modesty, understand where the gift comes from.
And one of the most important lessons in life that you should know is to remember to have an attitude of gratitude, of humility, understand where the gift comes from.
It's veritably hard for over and coming actors to make a name for themselves in Hollywood, and having their name associated with a prestigious award similar as an Oscar or Grammy is frequently seen as a dream come true. Still, it seems that some assiduity legends are now expressing enterprises about the process of achieving that position of recognition. And these enterprises are not unwarranted complaints from bitter individualities. They're coming from some of the most prominent numbers in Hollywood. One similar figure is Denzel Washington, a Hollywood heavyweight known for his outstanding amusement and multitudinous awards. Denzel stands out from utmost of his fellow celebrities because he embodies true, unmanly rates, which we can respect in both his particular and professional life. In a time when numerous celebrities are promoting open connections and infidelity as respectable, Denzel and his woman Pauletta set a remarkable illustration. They have managed to maintain a solid and reproach-free marriage in Hollywood for 4 decades, which is truly emotional. Important person in my life. 40 times of immolation, 40 times of remission.
Important person in my life. 40 years of sacrifice, 40 years of forgiveness. She taught me about faith, spirituality, love, real love, unwavering love. In spite of myself, I would not be alive without Pauletta Washington. I wouldn't be alive.
Before Denzel entered the world of acting, he actually allowed about getting a domineer. But looking back, he felt he was not relatively set for that calling at the time. So he chose to let his amusement and the way he lives his life do the talking rather. Still, maintaining your integrity in Hollywood isn't an easy feat. And Denzel snappily realized that the entertainment assiduity has a veritably dark side. Back in 2014, Denzel set up himself right in the middle of the Sony Dispatch hack debacle when an unidentified hacker exposed some shady workings from Sony Pictures Entertainment. In one of these blurted dispatch exchanges between a Riddle patron and Sony president Michael Linton, which happened right after Sony released Denzel's movie, The Equalizer, the patron suggested that Sony should avoid casting black actors to connect better with the global followership. This patron argued that the movie could have made indeed further plutocrat overseas if they'd gone with a white lead actor rather of Denzel. I believe that the transnational stir picture followership is racist. In general, filmland with an African-American lead do not play well overseas, the patron wrote. But this is just the tip of the icicle. Once Denzel made his move to Hollywood, it did not take him long to see what was going on. He realized that there was this whole docket to benefit from black suffering and use it as a source of entertainment. But then is the thing, Denzel was not having any of it, and he refused to take on those kinds of places. In fact, he made quite a name for himself by telling a patron commodity that still resonates moment. He principally said, if the situation were reversed and your people were the punchline, nothing would find it funny. Also, they tried to hang them. And they tried to do all this stuff. And I had a lot of training day in me. And also, there were some Jewish people in the investigation. And I said, yeah, they said, no, it's funny. It's like they hang them. And also they cannot, I said, yeah, like you bring some Jewish people into a room and they suppose it's a shower, but it's gas. And they said, right, I said, right, that funny. So to me, it was not funny about putting a rope around my MF. And also Denzel has also been veritably oral about what he perceives as delusional arrogance among some in the assiduity. According to him, the emphasis on making pictures and winning awards should be put into perspective because it's not as grueling as, say, transferring someone off to war. When Denzel appeared on the Hollywood Journalists Oscar Directors Roundtable alongside Mel Gibson and other Oscar-winning directors, he was asked what his worst job was before he started acting. And Denzel snappily dismissed this idea that being an actor is a more noble or meaningful profession than any other regular job. It was not a bad job. It's like people's hold the difficulty of making a movie. I am like, let's shoot your son to Iraq. That is delicate. It's just a movie. It's like, relax. I do not play that precious gibberish. Oh, move on, get out of then. You know your son got shot in the face. That is delicate. Making a movie is a luxury. It's a gift, it's an occasion, and most importantly, it's a gift. Obviously, everybody then's talented enough to do that, but do not get it crooked. It's just a movie. It ain't that big a deal. Despite his celebrity status and all his accomplishments, Denzel still rejects the title of movie star. And he formerly said in an interview, titles have nothing to do with me. That is not who I am. It's like the term movie star. What does that mean? It's just a marker they give you until they replace it with another bone. He forcefully believes that just because the system has its impulses and inequalities, it does not mean you should throw in the kerchief. Denzel held enough strong station on this. He allowed it was pivotal to keep pushing forward, despite he was each about working hard, giving it your all, and not letting obstacles define your path, and he used the challenges as provocation to prove that he could make it on his own terms without dealing his soul. Denzel's approach was refreshingly different. He showed that taking charge of your own fortune and seeking for success is possible. Indeed, in a system that might not always work in your favor. Still, Denzel has also faced some review for his opinions. Back in 2017, he set up himself under counterreaction when he said that the high crime rates within the Black community were not primarily the fault of the captivity system. Rather, he put the limelight on the significance of having strong, healthy family connections. I suppose it's more important to make advance in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They are not locking up 7. Time passed. Denzel also opened up about his own parenting and gave props to his parents for being his guiding stars. Indeed, though his parents went their separate ways, Denzel refocused out that his pater continued to be a presence in his life and a positive part model. Father in my life, indeed, though my parents were together, but I still had a father who was a gentle man and a good illustration. And they didn't. We can condemn the system if we want, but they did not lock any of us up at 7. We were all doing enough to get locked up at 13. My parents transferred me in another direction. They did not have anybody to help them, and they kept doing what they was doing. Now you might be wondering how all of this ties together, right? Well, Denzel's point was that despite vetting that the system is not always fair and square, it should not be a reason to do whatever Hollywood heads ask you to do. Denzel was each about taking responsibility and using your circumstances as a provocation factor. He knew that admitting the outfitted system was only the first step, and the real power lay in taking action, fostering healthy family dynamics, and making a positive change. His adaptability and determination have served as an alleviation for numerous, proving that you do not have to step on your values and principles indeed when the world seems piled against you. Still, not all actors have Denzel's integrity and awards. And it's not just Denzel who expressed enterprises over this. Kanye West famously claimed that Hollywood hire, ups, traumatize, and monetize celebrities. You understand? Michael Jordan, what about him?
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
Cat Williams, who openly contended that Jamie Foxx might have compromised his integrity for movie awards. During one of his comedy gigs, Cat claimed that Jamie Foxx engaged in a gay affair with songster Marcus Anthony. Cat also took a swing at Jamie for his part in the controversial Quentin Tarantino movie, Django Unchained, and said, "F Jamie Foxx and the Django Unchained check he cashed. They offered me the script and I said, any black man that do this deserves to die." And the coming thing I heard, Jamie Foxx was in makeup. Cat supposedly allowed that Jamie was being controlled and lowered by the assiduity heads, and that he did it just so he could advance his movie career, and also after Jamie suffered an unforeseen medical exigency before this time. Numerous suckers started assuming that his contract had expired or that he tried to expose some shadowy assiduity numbers. But it's not just Jamie who faced allegations of making huge particular offerings in exchange for fame and prestigious awards. One of them is Monique, who faced numerous challenges after asking to be compensated for sharing in the Oscar hype crusade for the movie Precious, which was produced by Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry and directed by Lee Daniels. Monique was labeled as delicate and plotted to find work in the assiduity, and she directly indicted Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels of negativing her. This disturbing pattern has raised questions and enterprises about what truly happens in Hollywood, and only rare celebrities are willing to openly talk about this. Denzel Washington seems to have set up a way of trying to shine the light on this issue while still keeping his career. But also others like Kanye West, who were more direct and uncensored in their allegations, were incontinently blacklisted and deplatformed. All this has led suckers to wonder who really decides what celebrities do with their public platform, and if there is a retired cost to achieving assiduity recognition. One addict reflected, "Denzel has always spoken the verity. The meddled up thing is that this has been going on for so long that the bones controlling effects do not watch at this point because they know nothing is going to change or be to them. It's only getting worse." And another one wrote, "Numerous black impersonators, musicians, professional athletes, rappers, etc. vended their souls for the price of fame and fortune. However, you will get burned if you play with the devil. I do not feel sorry for any of them." But let us know in the commentary how you feel about all this. Are you siding with Denzel? And do you suppose there is any stopgap at this point that the entertainment assiduity will change for the better? Entertainment assiduity will change for the better. Comment down below and also click to watch this coming videotape.